Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Solskjaer returns to Man United training. Last week, Solskjaer was away in Norway after granting his players a week off. Solskjaer is going to be in charge for the game against Watford this weekend. So as things stand at the moment, his job is safe. Solskjaer is under pressure at Manchester United because Manchester United have had back-to-back home defeats to Manchester City and Liverpool, and Man United have only won one of their last 6 Premier League games, and Man United are currently sitting 6th in the Premier League at the moment. Reports said last weekend that senior stars want Solskjaer sacked. That was stemming from Duncan Castles. It did say the other week that Solskjaer was waiting to be sacked after leaving Manchester. Recently, Fabrizio Romano said that Manchester United want to continue with Solskjaer for as long as possible, with a view to assess the situation in the summer. Yesterday it said that the Manchester United board have not yet made a decision on Solskjaer's future. There again, not so long ago, it said that Man United reportedly made a final decision on Solskjaer's future. It said Man United are committed to stand by Solskjaer until the end of the season. Like I updated you earlier on today, it said some Man United players feel misled by Solskjaer with the broken promises he made to them during the summer. You know, if Manchester United do decide to sack Solskjaer, they'll have to pay Solskjaer $7.5 million, because in the summer, Solskjaer signed a 3-year contract with an option of a further year. And we made a mistake giving him that contract, and a lot of United fans will agree with me on that aspect. You know, a lot of United fans have said that if Solskjaer really cared about the club, he would resign. But obviously he's not going to resign because he doesn't get paid anything if he resigns, and plus after the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool, he refused to resign. After the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool, Solskjaer should have been sacked. If we'd have sacked him after the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool, I can assure Manchester United would have got Antonio Conte. And after the Liverpool game, it said Solskjaer had been given 3 games to save his job. We only won one of them 3 games, beat Tottenham 3-0, drew 2-2 against Atalanta, and lost 2-0 to Man City. Obviously, there's talks of Zinedine Zidane coming in to replace Solskjaer. There's also been talks of Brendan Rodgers coming in to replace Solskjaer. Quite a few other managers have been mentioned as well. You know, if Solskjaer does get sacked, he will be the 4th permanent manager to be sacked since Ferguson, because Man United have already sacked 3 managers since Ferguson. We sacked David Moyes after 10 months. We sacked Louis van Gaal after like 2 years. We did win the FA Cup under Louis van Gaal, and we sacked Jose Mourinho after like 2.5 years. Mourinho did enjoy one good season at Man United. Mourinho did win 3 trophies in his first season. But in regards to Solskjaer, his tactics and his team selections have been questioned a lot. He's partly to blame for our poor performances, but you can't just put all the blame on the manager. There's also players that have to take responsibility for those poor performances. The expectations are far too high for Solskjaer to exceed as Man United manager. And Solskjaer's in a position that he shouldn't be in. I hate to say this regarding Solskjaer, but I'm just being realistic. Solskjaer's been given long enough at Manchester United. He's been Manchester United manager now for almost 3 years. And this season is Solskjaer's 3rd full season at Man United. And I did say at the start of this season that this season was going to be massive for him. Of course, we all adore Solskjaer, reflecting on what he's done for the club. You know, Solskjaer is a club legend. He endured 11 years as a player for Man United. He flourished under Ferguson's guidance. Solskjaer had a proven pedigree when he was a player for Man United because he won a lot of trophies as a player, but unfortunately, he has no proven pedigree as a manager, and that is a concern. Solskjaer knew when he'd taken over at Manchester United it was going to be a massive job and a difficult job, despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. Solskjaer is managing one of the biggest clubs in the world. He got appointed in December 2018 to replace Mourinho. He's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. The reason he got the job on a permanent basis was reflecting how well he did as the interim manager. Yes, we did make a mistake giving him the job permanently. Maybe we should have waited until the end of that particular season to decide on whether he would be the right candidate. But it was hard not to give him the job, you know, reflecting how well he did in his first 3 months. But at this moment in time, the club from top to bottom is in a predicament, and the way to get out of this predicament is a change of manager, and structural changes are also needed at the club. You know, Manchester United should be doing much better than they are, because Manchester United have got a very good squad. Plus, the board backed Solskjaer well in the summer transfer window, and they still continue to back him now. And Man United enjoyed a very good summer transfer window this year. Spent around 141 million. Made 4 signings. 3 of them were major signings. Ollie's enjoyed like 5 transfer windows now as permanent Manchester United manager. So reflecting on that, Solskjaer has no more excuses. He ran out of excuses a while ago. You know, these very, very good players at Manchester United, but the reason we're not getting the best out of a lot of the players is because we're a team of individuals. We don't actually play as a team. You've got the likes of City, Liverpool and Chelsea that all play as a team, and that explains why they're in a much better position than Manchester United at this moment in time. You know, if we played as a natural team, we'd be up there. But look who we've got. We've got the best player in the world overall in Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo's actually done well since he's re-signed. Ronaldo scored 9 goals in all competitions so far. Not so long ago, Ronaldo got named Player of the Month for October. He's got back-to-back awards now because back in September, Ronaldo got named Premier League Player of the Month. Ronaldo's obviously infuriated with what's going on at Manchester United at the moment, and he's even mocked Solskjaer's tactics. He did that in the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. Man United are relying on Ronaldo far too much. Ronaldo saved Solskjaer in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta. Ronaldo netted twice in stoppage time at the end of both halves. He scored the winner in the reverse fixture against Atalanta at Old Trafford. He also scored the winner against Villarreal earlier on this season, so there you go. If Solskjaer remains Manchester United manager, I can't see Ronaldo seeing out his contract. Ronaldo's got a contract with Man United till 2023. There's an option of a further year. He receives £480,000 a week, so he's the highest earner at Man United. Ronaldo wears a number 7 shirt, and we got Ronaldo for 19.8 million with add-ons included. Ronaldo has won 32 major trophies in his playing career, including 5 Ballon d'Ors. We've also got Mason Greenwood, that's a talented player. Greenwood actually played alongside Ronaldo in the 2-0 defeat to Man City. Obviously the Greenwood and Ronaldo partnership doesn't work out. Greenwood has scored, 4 goals in the league so far this season. Greenwood's got a long-term future at Man United. He's still young, got a lot of development in him. Greenwood, at one point, went a long time without scoring, but despite that, he's been an absolute revelation since he broke into our senior squad. Made his senior debut for Man United back in 2019. He's been a United player since the age of 7, and last season he signed a new 4-year contract. He deserved the contract, reflecting on his good performances. Jadon Sancho, he's a good player overall, but I think Jadon Sancho has been very poor for Manchester United so far, and reflecting on that, fans have been getting on his back. I think Solskjaer is to blame for Sancho's poor performances, because when Solskjaer decides to play Sancho, he persistently plays him out of position. To be fair though, when Sancho came on against Man City, he made an impact. There's quite a few games though Sancho doesn't even play, so reflecting on that, does he have a future at Man United? I said Sancho will do well at Man United, providing that he's used correctly. It does take some players time to settle in. Man United got Sancho in a deal worth 78 million with add-ons included. He's got a contract with Man United till June 2026 as an option of a further year. We've also got Bruno Fernandes, that's an exceptional player. Bruno Fernandes starts the vast majority of Manchester United's games. Fernandes has been consistent in a lot of games for Man United, but on the other side of things, there's been quite a few games where he's looked off the pace. I've got to say Fernandes was very, very poor in the 2-0 defeat to Man City last weekend. Or should I say the weekend before. Fernandes is one of the best signings though we've made since Ferguson retired. Fernandes has been at Manchester United for almost 2 years. We got him from Sporting Lisbon back in January 2020. Last season he won Player of the Year and he's won Player of the Month quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. Earlier on this season, Fernandes did make it clear that he wants to stay at Manchester United. And when he first came to Man United, he said, "I've come to Manchester to win trophies." Fernandes has got a contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further 12 months. Marcus Rashford, he's also a good player as well. I think he's done well in quite a few games since he's come back, but on the other side of things, there's been quite a few games where he's looked poor. Rashford, don't forget, was out with a shoulder injury for a while at one point, and don't forget he had to have an operation on his shoulder. Most of the time now, Rashford plays on that left wing. We need to keep him on the left wing because that's where he's mostly effective. He's far superior on the left wing to the right wing and up top. Rashford's been part of the club though for a long time. He's been a United player since the age of 7 and he's been in our senior squad since 2016. So he's been in our senior squad now for a good 5.5 years and he's got a contract with Man United till 2023. I think there is an option of a further year. He receives around, is it £200,000 a week? You've got Edison Cavani, that's also a good player as well. Cavani's actually now out with injury though until December. He was out with injury earlier on this season. Unfortunately, I think Cavani's going to be leaving Manchester United next year. Cavani has got under a year left on his Man United contract. Back in May, he signed the 1-year contract extension. We got Cavani on a free transfer from PSG. This season is Cavani's second full season at Man United. Cavani's got a good pedigree behind him. Look at the amount of silverware he won when he was at PSG. Not only that, he was a long-serving player when he was at PSG. You've also got Donny van de Beek. That's a good player, but haven't had much of a perception on him at Manchester United. Revert back to what I've said on my recent videos. Donny van de Beek has not been given enough game time at Manchester United. And I said Solskjaer should start Van de Beek, especially in the Premier League. Van de Beek is leaving the club in January. He's confirmed that himself. Prior to the Liverpool game, Solskjaer did make an admission regarding Van de Beek, saying that he's frustrated and disappointed over his situation at Old Trafford. And earlier on this season, it did mention that Van de Beek was furious with Solskjaer. Van de Beek has endured a difficult year and a half or so at Man United. You know, this season is his second full season at the club. You know, we got Van de Beek in a deal worth 40 million with add-ons included. He's got a contract with Man United until 2025. There's an option of a further year, and he's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. We've got Paul Pogba. That's also a very, very good player. Not only a good player, he's an imperative player as well. Pogba did enjoy a good start to the Premier League season. You know, Pogba has got 7 assists so far in the league this season. He produced good performances for Man United in the last couple of months of last season as well. I think there's a good chance that Pogba's leaving Manchester United because it said not so long ago that Man United are prepared to sell Paul Pogba in the January transfer window. It's better to cash in for him though in January rather than let him go on a free next summer. Pogba may never play for the club again. Pogba's out for the rest of 2021 because Pogba suffered a thigh injury in France training. Pogba though did play in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta, and I thought he put a poor performance out in that game. Reflecting on his poor performance, he got heavily criticised. Pogba's only got one game now to serve in the league out of the 3-match ban he got. Don't forget, Pogba got sent off in the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. The reason he got sent off was for a 2-footed challenge on Naby Keita. Reports from France though said not so long ago that Pogba wants to renew his contract with Man United on one condition, that he's made the Premier League's highest paid player. Pogba wants to overtake Ronaldo as the highest paid player. At the moment, Pogba receives around 290 grand a week on his current contract, and like I've said, Pogba's current contract at the club expires next summer. Before the start of this season, Pogba rejected a new Man United contract offer. But Pogba has had a long-running transfer saga. He's been linked with Barcelona, PSG, his former club Juventus, Inter Milan before, and Real Madrid have been relentlessly linked with him. But for a while now, Pogba's agent Mino Raiola has been working very hard to get his client to move away from the football club. This season is Pogba's 6th season at Man United since he rejoined. He's won 3 trophies at the club so far, and he's our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid £89 million for him. And we had Pogba when he was a lot younger under the Ferguson era, but had to let him go due to limited appearances. You've also got Luke Shaw. That's a good player overall, but I think Luke Shaw has been very, very poor this season. Where's the Luke Shaw from last season? Because last season Luke Shaw was absolutely superb. He was far superior last season to how he has been so far this season. Probably the best game Luke Shaw's had this season was the 3-0 win against Tottenham, even though he got booked in that game. Shaw's actually out now anyway with a concussion. He came off with a concussion in the 2-0 defeat to Man City. Obviously had to be replaced by Telles. Shaw was very poor against City. He was the main culprit for Manchester City's second goal by Bernardo Silva. Shaw is injury prone, which is a concern. I do reckon Shaw's had a good career at Man United despite his injuries. Shaw's been at Manchester United for 7.5 years, and he's been our first choice left back for a while, and he still remains our first choice left back despite the arrival of Telles. Shaw's got under 2 years left on his contract. At one point there was talks of us extending Luke Shaw's contract. You've also got Telles, that's a good left back as well. He's done well in some of the games he's been involved in for Man United, but I haven't had much of a perception on him because he hasn't played a lot. Telles will only play when Luke Shaw's not available. Telles was out with injury earlier on this season, but the reason we brought Telles in was to provide competition for Luke Shaw. Man United got Telles for £15.4 million. From Porto. You've got Rafael Varane. That's also a very, very good centre-half. He's done well in quite a few games for Man United, but he's also had a couple of games where he's looked off the pace. Varane has already endured 2 injuries since he's come. Varane is out with a hamstring injury now for around a month. Not so long ago he was out with a groin injury, and he was out with that groin injury for a few weeks. You know, Varane initially made his return in the 3-0 win against Tottenham, and he put a very good performance out against Tottenham. Manchester United got Varane in a deal worth 41 million with add-ons included. Varane's got a contract to Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further year. And Varane to Man United was official just before kick-off against Leeds, which was the opening day. But Varane is regarded as one of the best centre-halves in the world. He's highly experienced, and not only that, he's got a good pedigree behind him. Look at the amount of silverware he won when he was at Real Madrid. Not only that, he was a long-serving player when he was at Madrid. You've also got Eric Bailly. That's a good centre-half as well. Bailly doesn't get regular game time, no. Bailly lost his place in the team a while ago, obviously with the signing of Varane in the summer transfer window. And obviously Solskjaer seems to prefer Lindelof ahead of Eric Bailly for some reason. I can't understand why, because Bailly is a far superior centre-half to Lindelof. Bailly's only made, 3 starts this season? He played in the 2-0 defeat to Man City, did Bailly, and what an horrendous performance he put out in that game. And I was shocked in that aspect, because Bailly played very well in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta, and he played well against West Ham in the Cup earlier on this season. My concern about Bailly's injury prone. Towards the end of last season, he signed a new contract with Man United till 2024. There's an option of a further year. Bailly's been at Manchester United for 5.5 years now. We got him from Villarreal back in 2016 for 30 million. Amon Wan-Bissaka, you know, he's a good right back as well. I think the defensive side of his game is superb. But on the other side of things, the attacking side of his game is not so good. And there's aspects of Amon Wan-Bissaka's game that has to improve. He's got to show more attacking intent. He's got to improve his crossing, his positioning. He's got to improve as well. But despite that, he's still one of the best right backs we've had since Gary Neville. You know, we got Bissaka for 50 million from Crystal Palace back in the summer of 2019. And obviously you've got De Gea, that's a very, very good goalkeeper as well. De Gea's done really, really well so far this season, so reflecting on that, you've got to give him credit. And De Gea saved us from an humiliation against Man City, because De Gea made fantastic saves in that first half against Man City. Yes, De Gea was partly to blame for Bernardo Silva's goal. You know, this season is De Gea's 11th season at Man United, so he's been a very long serving. He's been with us since the Ferguson era. He's got under 2 years left on his contract, and he receives £375,000 a week. De Gea's won everything domestically at the football club, and he's made over 500 appearances for Man United in all competitions. Don't forget, De Gea reclaimed the number 1 spot back, because in the summer it said De Gea decided to cut short his holiday by 2 weeks to fight for the starting place, and it did say that he's determined to fight for his Man United future. So there you go, and obviously Henderson's a good keeper as well, but obviously Henderson doesn't get in goal now because De Gea reclaimed that number 1 spot back. Like I said, Henderson's only been in goal for 1 game so far this season, that was West Ham in the Cup. At one point Henderson was out with COVID for a while. At one point last season though, Henderson got that number 1 jersey, and he did well in a lot of the games he was in goal for last season. So yeah, I think Henderson will go out on loan next year. I think he wants to go out on loan. Henderson's already got that experience behind him now, because he endured 2 successful loans with Sheffield. He's also had other loan spells before. Was it before the start of last season, Henderson signed a 6-year contract with Man United, so reflecting on that, he committed his future to the club. So there you go. Good players at Man United. You know, Man United must have spent over £1 billion since Ferguson retired. There's also inconsistent players at Man United as well. You know, obviously, Fred's not good enough to represent the club. You know, Man United overpaid for Fred, got him in a deal worth 50 million from Shakhtar Donetsk. I don't think McTominay is good enough to represent the club either. There's a lot of United fans that can't understand why Solskjaer persistently selects Fred and McTominay in the centre midfield, because quite clearly Fred and McTominay don't complement each other. You know, Lingard, he's another one not good enough to represent the club, but he doesn't really get in the team anyway. Recent reports have said Lingard could be leaving for just 10 million next year. It's better to cash in for him though in January rather than let him go on a free next summer, because his current contract expires next summer. You know, Martial, he's another one that's not good enough to represent the club, but he doesn't get in the team. You know, Lindelof, he's another one. He's not good enough to represent the club. Matic, I don't think he's good enough either, even though he has had his good games at Man United. Matic isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but despite that, he still seems to get his chances, and surprisingly enough, he's ahead of Van der Beek in our midfield. Harry Maguire's not good enough at the moment. You know, he's, like I said, he's been very, very poor so far this season, and he's been even worse since he came back from that calf injury. And like I said, Shaw's been inconsistent this season, but I'm sure at some point Luke Shaw will regain his form. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.